on to the next project. Doing the bathroom, figured out that in order to build the bathroom walls, got to see what heater we're using because the interior bathroom walls go right around the heater. So, didn't check it. All I did was look at it. Here it is. We have the vintage heater Hydro Flame Corporation model HF16. I have a regulator to test this, and looks like we're gonna take it apart and see if we can make it work. Vacuum it out, clean it up. Here is the scenario. We got it hooked up. Got the wiring going to the blower motor here. As it was connected in the camper, I disconnected this. Now I just rigged this stuff up here so I can do a test. And I have the actual same thermostat wires, solid wires going to that classic thermostat. Check out the twinkles. And it seems to work if you listen. Right there at 78 is where it's clicking, and guess what temperature it is? 78. We're gonna see if the blower motor works. This is real time. There is a switch here, so it shouldn't turn on until that switch goes on. Let's put this on like this. So I got my little lasso. Now this here should not kick on, but let's see. Good, nothing. Got both of the wires hooked up. Let's give it a shot. Fuse looked good, by the way. Nothing. That sucks. We're gonna try and test the actual propane. We got it hooked up to a tank here, and we're gonna see if this pilot light lights. Oh, she's lit. Let's see if this some pup lights. She's on full bore. Thermostat's on. Oh, I'm hearing something. Oh, she's running. Shut it off. Okay, we're back at it. We got the thermostat on 60. We got it on the ground now. The exhaust is not going to be a problem. Gas is on. Pilot light is lit. It's hooked up to power. The blower switch is on, which I don't see why that matters, but on here. Okay. And we're going to turn the thermostat on. Oh, there it goes. I can hear it. Whoa! Not running right. Doesn't sound too consistent. Got it apart. Got the whole burner system, blower motor. Gonna have to clean it up now. Get on there. So I got the blower motor out, as you can see from the furnace. Squirrel cage here. Looks like this is the end of the shaft. Might be able to lubricate it in there, so I'm going to lubricate that. I'm going to hook power to it. This is a heat sensor here, so I'm assuming once it gets hot enough, it allows power to kick on for the blower to turn on. You can see the front of it on the back side where the actual motor is. Brush connection clip was broken. So hopefully it's going to work, but I'm going to try and put this little screw in here and screw it into the plastic housing back into the motor. Let's see if this works. There's the screw. It's kind of off-centered. That's what happened. Here's the oil used. It's meant for electric motors. And right on the end there, that's I just put a couple drops in there. We got, well, it's supposed to be 12 volts, but we got 10.5. The switch should not kick it on. Okay, makes sense. Now, in theory, if everything is the way I think it is, when I heat that up, it'll kick on. Let's see. I'm going to use the torch. There it goes, just kicked on. Yeah! That right there, folks, is a good deal. Okay, I have the ammeter hooked to this in series. Let's see how many amps this pulls on when the fan kicks on high. The spike is like 8 amps, but it runs 4.2. The blower motor and blower is back in the furnace. It's ready to go. Now have to take all of this and put a new gasket in there. So the gasket fell apart into a ton of pieces when I removed it, and this gasket is not something you can get easily. So I went with exhaust gasket, a sheet of it that's rated to 1200 degrees. It's Mr. Gasket, part number 77A. There's a gasket that goes in between pilot light and the sheet metal. I have it separated here. So here's the first gasket. There is the gasket, and I put gasket cement to kind of hold it on in place, and put screws in there just to hold it in place to try and get it in. This is going to be difficult. Hopefully we get it in there. Gasket is successfully installed. As you can see in between the sheet metal there. I had to replace a lot of the screws from number 8s to number 10s. Next step is to test it again and see if it lights better. Pilot light doesn't leak. What we got here is the furnace intake sheet metal and guard for the exhaust. I don't have the furnace in front of me, but there's the furnace part, and then I'll put a picture in, and then this is the exhaust that goes on the outside of the camper, and it kind of is telescopic because it can work with a range of wall depths. Okay, well, fully collapsed, it needed to be. We're going to change the wall here, so we needed to cut a little bit off. So we got marks here, and this one is already cut, the outside one, and the inside one has got to get cut on these marks. So we're taking 3 inches out of it so that we can collapse. It'll work better. So 10 snips and just going at it. Probably shouldn't start right there, but it'll work. And you just take your time, and once you get on the line, you kind of just work at it. We have success. Tested the furnace with the new seals, or the new gaskets. It helped with preventing air leaking in where the pilot flame is. I believe that helped with the ignition of the actual furnace and preventing it from having like a mini explosion. It was more smooth. And the motor worked. For the blower, and everything's working. So putting that thing off to the side, it's ready for final installation when we're ready.